When I stood before the walls of Jericho, they mocked me. When I faced giants, they laughed at me. The jeers, the doubts from the onlookers, they sounded loud. But I learned something in the wilderness. Walls don't fall for the proud, they fall for the aligned. I am Joshua, servant of the Most High, and I came to remind you, you were not born to wander, you were born to conquer. The same God who told me, be strong and courageous, Joshua 1:9, speaks the very same command over you today. But understand this, strength isn't just in the sword, it's in the spirit of discipline, faith, and divine alignment. 1. Purpose and alignment. Some of you are holding on to what God already released. You're clutching the familiar, even if it no longer holds promise. You can't conquer new territory if your hands are full of Egypt. You can't storm new walls when you're still lugging the chains of the past. Let go of the work, habits, and relationships that don't align with your divine purpose. Let go of the tasks that drain your vision. Let go of the voices that whisper safety over significance. Proverbs 19:21 says, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. When I led Israel, I learned victory doesn't come from activity alone. It comes from alignment. You may be busy, but busy does not equal blessed. Stop clinging to what feels familiar and cling instead to what fulfills His calling. Your alignment is the key that opens doors no weapon can shut. 2. Growth and productivity. In the wilderness we had manna, daily bread, miraculous, yes, but constant. But when we entered the promised land, the manna stopped. Why? Because God expected growth. He expected us to step into a new way of living, to move from dependence to dominion. John 15:8 says, by this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit. Growth isn't a suggestion, it's a divine expectation. So if your life looks the same year after year, you've stopped marching. If you're comfortable, but your faith feels cold, you've settled for the wilderness when conquest was possible. Don't wait for miracles while standing still. Move forward so heaven can multiply your effort. Stretch your faith, expand your territory. Step out of what you know into what He promised. 3. Courage to change. I've seen brave men die fighting wars that weren't theirs. I've seen soldiers bleed because they refused to drop the burden they were never called to carry. Some of you call it loyalty. God calls it misalignment. Quitting what drains your destiny isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Dropping the wrong fight frees your hands for the right one. Ecclesiastes 3:6 says, a time to keep and a time to throw away. The wise warrior doesn't just fight hard, he fights right. Sometimes obedience sounds like walking away, so you can make room for what heaven assigned. Let the misaligned battles go. You were born for the breakthrough, not the breakdown. 4. Faith and action. When we crossed the Jordan, the waters didn't part until we stepped in. It's not enough to pray, you must proceed. You pray for miracles, but you won't move your feet. James 2:17 says, faith without works is dead. God has already spoken. Now it's your turn to act. You've heard the call. Now live the walk. Faith is not a feeling. It's a decision to advance when fear says stay. Heaven moves for the mover. If you don't step out, you'll never see the river open. Take the first step, even if you can't see the whole staircase yet. The ground will rise under your feet because your obedience triggers His intervention. 5. Fighting spirit and adversity. Every battle I fought was a classroom, each scar a textbook. Romans 5:3-4 says, suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. Don't curse your battles, they're building your backbone. The pit and the prison prepared Joseph, the desert prepared Moses, and the walls of Jericho prepared me. I didn't go into that city naive. I went in battle hardened because I had learned to march, to obey, and to believe even when it made no sense. Complacency is silent surrender, but persistence, oh, that's divine partnership. Life will give you what you fight for or what you accept. So tell your fear, I may bleed, but I will not bow. Tell your doubt, you may whisper, but I will march. Your trial is not your prison, it's your proving ground. 6. Self-belief, learning, and fear. Many of you doubt yourselves because you measure your worth by people who never carried your calling. You listen to small voices when God gave you a big assignment. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You are enough for your divine assignment. You have spiritual capacity for transformation, but you also need intellectual capacity for advancement. Keep learning, keep reading, keep sharpening your sword. Proverbs 1:5 says, let the wise listen and add to their learning. Don't fear outgrowing people. Fear outliving your purpose. Growth may cost relationships, it may cost comfort, but stagnation costs destiny. Step out of the circle of who you were and move into the circle of who you're becoming. Your purpose is too large for doubts. Your mission demands more than your comfort zone will ever give. The promised land isn't a place, it's a posture. It's not just about geography, it's about character. It's about readiness. God created you for increase, but it requires intentional fight, spiritual awareness, and disciplined growth. You either accept your circumstances or rise up to change them. There is no middle ground. So, warrior of faith, take courage, march again, align again, believe again. For the God who gave me Jericho will give you your victory too.